Okay. So I think I'll start. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure of having you with us in this interesting, hopefully interesting for you, webinar on our Africa Initiative number 3. I see a number of colleagues around the table, and I will introduce them one by one as far as I can see. Let's start with with His Excellency the Ambassador of the Embassy of Kenya to the Kingdom of Belgium and the EU, Ambassador Bitangen Demo, who has joined us this morning and who will have a few opening remarks and will also guide us through the later part of this webinar. We should also have, but please, colleagues, correct me colleagues around the table, please correct me. We should also have the Deputy Head of the EU delegation joining us for the opening remarks, Mr. André Jimek.
Yes.
Did I hear a yes? Sorry, you were muted.
He'll be joining in a short while.
Okay, very good. Very good. Thank you. Then we have a video message of the head of unit in DGRTD here in Brussels, head of unit 04, the unit is called. We are working on international cooperation with Asia, Pacific, Africa, and the Middle East. She will join us, but she has pre-recorded a video message, which is not too bad because it gives us a bit more time for the essential parts of the meeting. Then I will give a quick overview of Africa Initiative 3, what it contains, but I will also focus a little bit on the policy side, just to explain a little bit the why we do this and how we do this, and what is the background of our activities, of our partnership with African researchers and innovators. This introductory session will then be followed by a short questions and answers session, and then we'll go on certain aspects that will touch upon the Marie Sklodowska-Curie actions, EURAXESS Africa, what both are doing in Africa. I'm not quite sure whether we'll talk about Erasmus+, but it would be good. If not, we can do this at a later stage or through other means of communication. And then we'll come to the part where we asked, we wanted to talk about the Youth and Research in Africa program. It would also be good if the EU delegation could provide some insight into that program and the meaning for Kenya. And this is then be followed by the part where we ask Kenyan scientists to present their projects to you and to speak about why have they joined these cooperative actions financed from Horizon Europe. What is the benefit for them? What is the benefit for Kenya in particular also? And whether they would recommend and how they would recommend to all of us to also engage in international collaborative actions on research and innovation. And then we'll conclude this 2 to 2.5 hour seminar or webinar by another question and answers session at the end of the event, and the closing remarks again by the ambassador Bitangen Demo. So this is what we want to do today. I'm not quite sure whether we have already the deputy head of delegation. There he is, very good. So then I give the floor to Mr. André Jimek. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, and please, the floor is yours. You have to unmute.
Muted.
No, you're still muted. Ah, that's better.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes,
No.
Yeah.
very good.
You can hear me,
Yes.
but now I did something that I cannot hear you. So let me just. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. And I can
Very
hear
good.
you. Okay. I think I need to do a little bit more research into this technology. So we normally use WebEx, and so of course this is a slightly different animal that we are working with. But first of all, thank you very much for inviting me and for giving me the opportunity to speak here. It's a great pleasure to see you, Ambassador Bitenge. We met, I think, before I came on this post 2 years ago in your embassy, and you gave me a very useful briefing, which I have been building on since I arrived in this country. This beautiful country, I should say, which I'm now beginning to consider my home after 2 years. Now, let me just say, very happy to be here and do these introductory remarks because I think this launch of the Horizon Europe Africa 3 initiative as really kind of a new element, I think, in developing and strengthening the cooperation between the European Union, Kenya, and also Africa in large in the area of education, research, and innovation. Of course, today we will be primarily focused on research and innovation, but the outcomes, research outcomes, do not, of course, come from nowhere. I think what you always have to have is a very strong educational base. So the area of education, I think, is where we need to start. And it's an area where the EU and also the EU member states have invested quite significant amount of resources over the years. Of course, the priorities tend to change as we go forward. One administration comes, another one leaves, but in principle, we are still very active in this field, and we are interested to strengthen the ties between the European Union, Kenya, and also the African countries. Our flagship program, if I look from the perspective of sort of scholarships or public funding that's available to support this area, our flagship program is the Erasmus, which really is trying to give an opportunity for development of talent. So it creates a lot of opportunities for mobility between Kenya and the European Union, between Africa and European Union, for students, for academic staff, for researchers. I mean, Kenya is quite well positioned. If we look at the statistics, both for the joint degrees, joint master's degrees, that is, this is a program that allows the Kenyan students to obtain a full degree in the European Union by studying in 2 different universities. So if we look at that program, but if we look at also academic mobility, and if we look at also the TVET programs, I mean, Kenya is benefiting quite well in the context of Africa. It is a little bit behind some of the large countries like Nigeria, I think Ethiopia, but it's maybe the 3rd or 4th, I think, in Africa. What we would like to see, of course, is more. I mean, we'd like to see more students being involved, more Kenyans traveling to Europe, and also more Europeans coming to Kenya because it's a two-way street, which creates opportunities for both sides. And we have also additional programs from the member states. They are also doing similar type of things, a lot of scholarships, Germany, Italy, Hungary, France. I mean, many of these countries are running their own programs. But we are also keen, I think, to strengthen the awareness in Kenya about the educational opportunities in Europe that are not backed by EU scholarships. They may be funded either privately or they may be funded from other sources. I mean, this is possible, and we see a lot of Kenyan students traveling to the UK or US. We also see what is happening these days. I think, sometimes it's more difficult to get certain visas or something like that. And so what we want to do on our side is to promote a little bit these opportunities for Kenyans in the European Union. In fact, next year we would like to really focus strongly on education, research, and culture. That should be sort of our topic, I think, for the activities of the European Union in this country next year. And we are, of course, seeking partnership with the Kenyan authorities, with the government. And so I want to thank you very much also for supporting, this webinar that is taking place today. Now, let me just turn my attention a little bit towards research and innovation. Here, I would say we are very much guided by this, quite well-known motto of the World Bank that was, I think, they started advancing in the 90s, and it was about think globally, act locally. So what we try to do there is we try to promote actions that are helping to find locally adapted solutions to some of the global challenges that we are all facing. Challenges in the area of public health, climate change, food security, you name it. There are many, many across board. For us, research and innovation is a vehicle for understanding these challenges better and for instigating concrete projects that can be sort of tested in real life. The move from research to actual implementation and to scaling up of the solutions through commercially viable programs. And we have instruments in the European Union that are helping in these different stages. So we're not doing the research for the sake of research. This is not about creating jobs for researchers. This is really about trying to create a value chain, if you like, between research and application. That's what we are particularly interested in. And that, I think, is also the reason why science, technology, and innovation is such an important component in the broader relationship between the European Union and the African Union. And why I think it is also important in Kenya in the context of our partnership. So our aim is really to support programs that have the ability to produce patented outcomes. Something that is not going to end up being just on the paper, but something that has the potential of getting a patent. And that can be then tested and rolled out on a commercial scale. So beyond just giving grants for research, we also have, of course, the possibility of then supporting private sector to take these ideas, test them, and to even develop them on a commercial scale. So there are possibilities of not only grants, but also, for example, taking equity position with a particular commercial company that is working on an idea that had been originally researched, let's say in Kenya or in another African countries. We see this clear link between science, development, and the overall partnership between the European Union and third countries in Africa, in our particular case, Kenya. And that's also the reason why here in Africa, our Global Gateway investment package identified the Africa-EU Science, Technology and Innovation Initiative as a tool to improve capacities in science, technology and innovation, upgrade research and innovation facilities, strengthen innovation ecosystems, and increase collaboration among research institutions or research individuals. What we are doing here today, as far as I understand it correctly, we are launching the Africa Initiative 3. And that's what I said at the beginning. I really see this as a new stage for developing stronger partnership in this area between the European Union and Kenya. It, of course, builds on the previous programs. We had the Africa Initiatives 1 and 2, and it is designed to help to advance further short, medium, and long-term actions in line with the EU-AU Innovation Agenda and the Research and Innovation Policy Guide for EU-Africa Cooperation from 2023 and 2033. So that's the broad context for our actions forward. And I think what we need now is a lot of day-to-day engagements between us here in the delegation and the relevant counterparts in Kenya about how we really operationalize this in a sensible manner. I am certain that this new program will give us an opportunity to do this and that we will be able to explore some new ways for EU-Kenya and also EU-Africa research and innovation collaboration. And I really hope that this new program that we are launching today will be able to provide universities, researchers, innovators, and investors with the tools that they need to accelerate innovation. But above all, I really want to underline the notion of applying the research and bringing it into the commercial sphere. So that is really something that we want to do. I think here, Kenya is not benefiting so much yet. So we are really more looking at the initial stages of the research, but we have then the possibility of testing commercially the outcomes, the research outcomes or the innovation proposals, and then scaling them up. And I think this is not really yet operationalized. And I think we need to start looking into how to do this together. Well, I would stop there. I could talk about it for for a long time, but I think I'll stop there and I give the opportunity to the others. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Andre. This is very much appreciated. And I see from the reactions in the chat that the little talk was also very much appreciated in the sense that you highlighted the importance of the research and innovation value chain and bringing research results to fruition, if you like to call it like that, and really aim for benefiting societies from the efforts we are making in financial but also in intellectual terms. With these words, maybe I can hand over to the ambassador, Bitangen Demo, who also wants to say a few words for the opening of this event. Please, Ambassador, the floor is yours.
Okay. Andre Chamek, Jens Hogel, and Dr. Malel, thank you for organizing. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests who are attending this function, we want to thank our EU colleagues for agreeing to organize this function. Andre, I hope you have gone around Kenya by now and you understand the beauty of the country and everything. I would only work to get you citizenship before I come. We have had this discussion for quite some time with Ambassador in Nairobi. Then we got to talk to Vincenzo, but I'm happy that it has happened. It's a great privilege to address this gathering today as we come together bridging continents and diverse perspectives. We are reminded of the critical role collaboration and how it plays in advancing global progress. Through shared goals and mutual understanding, we can unlock possibilities and drive impactful outcomes. I'm especially pleased to see many dedicated individuals from both the EU and Kenya here today, which is a testament to the strong and enduring partnership between these two regions. Together, we have an opportunity to deepen this bond and explore innovative ways to address common challenges. The issues that we are looking at today, a lot of people talk to me, and even when Africa One initiative was created, I don't think I was here, even the second one. We didn't quite understand it, even though some people have leveraged that and something has happened. I would hope that with the third initiative, we could properly exploit this and expand our relationships because we have so many young people working on different types of innovations. We also have several researchers who have been working in collaboration with other researchers here in Europe. So I don't want to spend so much time because we have a huge audience. I think we're almost 450 by now. And we would want to hear from a few of them. So I would stop here, hoping that we can create more space for those who want to present their research, want to present their innovations, because that is what has brought us here today. Thank you, Jamek, for joining us. And I hope you would stay to see some of the works that are coming out of my country, Kenya.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. This is very much appreciated again. I think the audience will be very interested indeed to listen to the concrete results and opportunities that Horizon Europe is offering, not only to African researchers, but to African researchers in particular. And this goes, of course, across the entire continent. So all of African researchers can participate in Horizon Europe programs, but now we are focusing on Kenya, and we will see in a short while what the effects of our African initiatives on the researchers in Kenya are. So let's move on to the next point, which will be a video message that was recorded last Friday from my head of unit, who is currently traveling, but she wanted to address this webinar today as well. So please, Ahmed, if you could, yes, exactly, launch the video.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Bitangen Debo, representatives of the Kenyan government and their deputy head of the EU delegation, Mr. Ondrej Simek, dear researchers and innovators, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you with my colleagues to today's important event. Kenya is an important partner of the EU on the African continent, mainly marked by long-standing and mutually beneficial trade relations, our cooperation at multilateral level, and our bilateral cooperation, of course, in research and innovation. The current political mainstay of our R&I cooperation is the 10-year AU-EU Innovation Agenda that fosters the translation of research and innovation into tangible products, businesses, services, and jobs in Kenya and Africa as a whole. Horizon Europe and its Africa initiatives are, together with the Global Gateway initiatives, the two main instruments with which the EU contributes to the implementation of the AU-EU Innovation Agenda. Over the past decades, the cooperation between the EU and Kenya has achieved impressive results in different areas of research and innovation. In public health, including in the European and developing countries clinical trials partnership, personalized medicine, and beyond. In food and nutrition security and sustainable agriculture, biodiversity and bioeconomy, in climate change and sustainable energy, and in researchers' mobility through the Sklodowska-Curie actions. You will hear about the very good performance of researchers from Kenya when collaborating with EU researchers in dedicated calls for proposals of the Africa initiatives and related calls. It's very noteworthy that Kenya plays a prominent role in the already mentioned research and innovation areas. And Kenya is the second top performing African country in Horizon Europe. Compared to the previous research framework program, Horizon 2020, the budget allocated to Kenyan researchers has already risen from 32 million euros in Horizon 2020 to more than 50 million euros under Horizon Europe. This is a very remarkable development, and I'm looking forward to seeing this figure continue to rise throughout the implementation of Horizon Europe. So yes, please consider today's event as one of the series of engagements that aim not only to provide information on Horizon Europe, Work Program 2025 and its Africa Initiative 3, but also to enhance capacity and foster collaborations among researchers within Kenya, across Africa, and together with European researchers. You will hear about the new calls for proposals of the Africa Initiative 3. These are specifically 24, amounting to an overall budget of 500 million euros, addressing topics such as public health and epidemic preparedness, food security, agriculture and agroecology, biodiversity, climate change and sustainable energy, raw materials value chain for digital and green transition, generative AI, and cross-cutting issues such as migration and climate, research security, cultural and historical heritage, among many others. And the earliest deadlines for proposal submissions are set for early September. So you do still have a few months to prepare your consortia, shape your proposal and make a compelling submission. I therefore wish you a very productive webinar, and I look forward to seeing our cooperation under Horizon Europe and the Africa Initiative 3 growing even stronger as we together implement the EU Innovation Agenda. Thank you very much.
So good. Thank you very much to Nienke. Now let's come to the next point. I think that's myself, if I'm not mistaken. I have a short presentation prepared, which I want to share with you. Just let me see. Oh, no, sorry. Okay, it comes in a moment. Just give me a moment. Okay. Okay. My computer tells me you can see that the file. Ahmed, can you confirm?
Yes, just try to put in full screen.
It's not working, no?
No, as plan B, I can do it for you.
Yes, that would be
Okay.
much appreciated. Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Sorry for that. I stopped sharing.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. I will tell you whenever we go to the next one. So this this presentation is, we'll talk about the Africa Initiative 3. As I said in the beginning, it will also address a little bit the political and policy background, why we want to cooperate with African researchers and what it has already resulted in, so the achievements, so to speak, which are also important to see, I think, actually. So if we go to the next slide. A general overview of Horizon Europe you see here on this slide. We have several areas of activities. Today we want to mainly focus on Pillar 2 activities of Horizon Europe, which is called the Global Challenges and European Industrial Competitiveness. Under this pillar, we have several clusters, so to speak, as sub-chapters on public health, culture, creativity, inclusive society, civil security, digital industry and space, climate, energy and mobility, and food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, and environment. So these are the subjects that are covered by Pillar 2 of Horizon Europe. And of course, we have complementary parts of Horizon Europe that are not in Pillar 1, but in Pillar 2, but in Pillar 1, for example, the basic research, well, if you call it basic research or fundamental research that is being conducted by the European Research Council, that is also very important. And this is also something where African researchers can be part of. And then we have Pillar 3 under Innovative Europe. We have in particular the European Innovation Council, which is the how can I say, the instrument that we are using to bring the research into market-ready conditions. So we support successful research projects under the European Innovation Council to make the next steps really to come up to products or services that can be marketed. Now, unfortunately, I have to say this European Innovation Council support is restricted to European Union countries and associated countries. However, that wouldn't hold us back. I'm not saying that doesn't, but it wouldn't hold us back to have such an instrument also rolled out across the African continent. But of course, then we would need also the buy-in in every sense of the African continents and the countries. And I think we are at this particular moment in time, we are not at this stage, but we are always open to discussions. Huh? I forgot under Pillar 1, Marie Sklodowska-Curie actions. Sorry for that. But it will play a role, and we will have somebody from our colleagues at the DG EAC to explain Marie Sklodowska-Curie at a later point in time today. Next slide, please. So what are the guiding principles to international cooperation in research and innovation? Well, this is from our side, the commitment to openness. So let me talk about that in a moment on the next slide, but the commitment to openness, just take a note of that. And of course, we have also values and principles. And I think one of the most discussed values is, for example, the freedom of academic research, which is very important for us. And it should not be, for example, hindered by political considerations. So this is something that is really very close to our heart, and it's one of the underlying principles of our research framework programs. Just to give you one example. Of course, we want to pursue a level playing field, and we would also count on reciprocity. Level playing field in the sense of that every participant or applicant for Horizon Europe funding is considered the same. So we won't make any distinction between organizations, origins, or whatever. But we would, in any case, count on reciprocity. So whenever we see with our African partners that there are opportunities to conduct collaborative research, either funded from the EU or from the African Union side, then this would be considered reciprocity. Shutting off such opportunities would certainly be not considered reciprocity. So these are all the political considerations from our side that we think are very important. And of course, we'll do international collaboration or international research and innovation collaboration in order to tackle global challenges. I mean, I think there's no need to talk about climate change as an example. Ahmed, next slide, please. So, because that the question about openness was already addressed or raised in the chat, I can tell you that Horizon Europe is by default open to almost all countries, and that is particularly true for countries in Africa. So if you apply for funding and you participate in an evaluation exercise where research proposals are evaluated and ranked, and you would be considered one of the best or the best proposal, then you would have good chances to receive funding from Horizon Europe. This is how it goes. The evaluation process is quite an, how can I say, a very independent process, actually. And it has served very well in the last 2 or 3 decades to select good research projects. But of course, you always have to consider that the main criterion to be selected is that you have to present excellence in science. So excellent scientific projects or proposals need to be presented. And the good thing about Horizon Europe is that you would do this together with European partners in the best case. Because when we talk about international cooperation in Horizon Europe, this is under Pillar 2, this is always collaborative research. It's not research for individuals. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is a little bit what I just said. Access to Horizon Europe funding is in particular automatically, or who is automatically eligible in particular are low and middle income countries. So basically it's all of Africa, but it's also many countries in Asia and Latin America still, and in other parts of the world. Even European neighborhood countries are to a large extent eligible, either because they have been associated to Horizon Europe, or they are still in the bracket of low to middle income countries. Next slide, please. And how do we kind of shape the international cooperation activities that we are responsible for? Well, it is quite a tedious process, I can tell you from the inside. It's not easy to convince our colleagues in the various clusters that I talked about to address the international cooperation with Africa in this regard. So that is what I want to say. It's not automatic. We need to, within our house, we need to promote also the cooperation with Africa. And we do this, and actually we do this quite successfully. And we divide then these cooperation activities either by topics or by countries or regions, or we have multilateral initiatives, or we have collaboration with key partners. So there are many criteria that need to be considered, not only by us, but also by our colleagues that work in the thematic areas and that depend on the input from our side. This is also why we have this policy dialogue on research and innovation with African countries at a higher level to better understand what are the policies, what are the interests of our partners in Africa, and how can we translate that into particular topics or activities in particular countries, regions, and so on. We have quite a good achievement in that regard, insofar as 35% of the total budget that is available for research and innovation activities is being dedicated to international cooperation, which is quite a bit, I think. Next slide. I think we'll come to the concrete EU-Africa cooperation in research and innovation. And how do we do this? So first of all, Africa for the EU is a strategic partner. We are supposed to enhance cooperation with Africa by or on the basis of targeted actions. For example, in terms of climate change, find then locally adapted solutions to global challenges. I mean, climate change, global challenge. But I think we also understood more and more, and that is also a process that we have been through, that we need to really focus on locally adapted solutions. I think this is very well understood on our side. And this is why your contributions to our programs are really important. Because from the European side only, it is impossible to work and to find locally adapted solutions. Therefore, we need you very much. On the basis, not on the basis, but then we have these policy documents. The one is the comprehensive EU strategy with Africa. And then we have a more dedicated document that is called the Global Approach to Research and Innovation. These are the most recent policy initiatives that prioritize research and innovation as key dimension or key contributors to sustainable development. And you can find some more details here on the slide. Now, what has been developed over the last 4 or 5 years is actually the EU Innovation Agenda. And this innovation agenda is a result of our high-level policy dialogue, EU high-level policy dialogue on science, technology, and innovation, which decided in July 2020 that we should shape our joint that we should shape our joint cooperation activities around priorities. And these priorities are basically public health, green transition, divided into 2 areas. One of them is food and agriculture, and the other is climate change and sustainable energy. Then we have another area that becomes more and more important is innovation and technology. And here we particularly strive to find mechanisms and ways to support research outputs to be translated into actual benefits for society in terms of, as I said earlier, marketable products and services. And we should not forget about the point on capacities for science, which is also part of the innovation agenda. And these capacities for science this subject does not only mean we need to have very well educated scientists and very well performing scientists, but this capacities for science should in principle start already at the school or even preschool age of children. Because if the school education is not up to the level that is needed to become a good scientist, of course, then it becomes very difficult for countries and scientists to perform well in collaboration when collaborating with other international groups. So this is an area that should not be underestimated. Next slide. So I was talking about the EU Joint Innovation Agenda. And you see here a lot of details. I don't want to go through all of these. You see the objectives, and that one of the objectives is really to translate innovative capacities and achievements into tangible outputs. This is at the heart of the innovation agenda, and this is what we stand for. We have divided the activities that we consider relevant to achieve the objectives of the agenda into short, medium, long-term set of actions. And I can tell you, obviously, that Africa initiatives 1 to 3 are really part of these activities that we want to conduct and roll out across our constituencies in the EU and Africa. The innovation agenda also includes an analysis, a very rough, but an analysis of gaps and needs for each of the priority areas that I mentioned. And not to forget that the innovation agenda is a joint agenda because it was jointly developed between the African Union experts and the European Union experts. So it's not anything that has been imposed by either side, but it is really a joint achievement. And I think we should be more proud of this actually than we have been. Sorry for that. Yeah, maybe we'll go to the next slide. And I think we'll come then we come to the effects of our activities with the African partners. And you can see a comparison here between Horizon 2020, which is the previous research framework program, and Horizon Europe on the bottom half of the slide, which is the current research framework program. And I should probably explain that the figures that represent Horizon 2020 here, and the number of let's say successful projects, which are the columns in red here, span over a lifetime of Horizon 2020 of 7 years. Now Horizon Europe in the bottom half, you can see the same kind of slide if you want, but the figures are quite different. They are quite different insofar as the retained proposals, so the successful proposals that have been submitted, has been significantly increased under Horizon Europe. And that is very remarkable, considering that Horizon Europe is not a 7-year, not yet a 7-year framework program, but it's only 4 years into the running of the 7-year period. So we have already achieved a much better picture in terms of participation of African Union researchers in Horizon Europe compared to Horizon 2020. And I think one of the reasons why this has increased is, first of all, the closer collaboration between you as African researchers and there's Thailand, and the European researchers on our side. Where do you see Thailand in the slide? Ah, there's Thailand. That's strange. Yeah, okay. Sorry for that. But well spotted, to be honest. Then we have some more some more figures for Kenya on the next slide, please. And here you see the same picture, probably more prominent in the sense that Kenya has already managed under Horizon Europe to achieve an EU contribution to research and innovation, to collaborative research and innovation activities of 50 million euros. 50 million euros from the EU budget allocated to Kenyan researchers. Compared to Horizon 2020, this is already more than 50% rise, which is really remarkable. And I have to say, I want to stress again, for Horizon Europe is only running for 4 years, whereas Horizon 2020 figures below are considered for the 7-year period that Horizon 2020 was implemented. So this is really a very, very good achievement. And I think if we look at Horizon, the work program that we are presenting now, there could be much more funding allocated to Kenyan researchers, and we will try and do our utmost really to facilitate that as much as we can. And with these words, we're coming to the next slide. We're coming to the details. So the work program 2025 is the Africa Initiative, or the Africa Initiative 3, is made up of calls for proposals under Work Program 2025 of Horizon Europe. The selected or the identified call topics comprise a budget of about 500 million euros. We have 24 topics under the calls for proposals, which is quite a bit of money. Actually, it's the largest budget since we started the Africa initiatives. And it is again focusing on the priority areas, or the selected calls for proposals are focusing on the priority areas of public health, where we have 50 million euros allocated to one research topic. We have green transition, the area of where we allocate 241 million. We have innovation and technology with 186 million euros, capacities for science, 3.5 million euros, and cross-cutting issues, 19.5 million euros. Just for your information, this presentation contains a number of links. So if you click, for example, here on the EU funding and tenders portal link, you will be brought to the website on EU funding and tenders portal, and you can find the Africa calls under this or on this website. So that is also very important for you to know. You also can find, in addition to that, you can also find partners. So this tool allows you to not only identify which are the calls for proposals or the topics that are relevant for you, but you can also then, under these topics, send a request for partnering with other institutions, including, of course, European institutions. that is one of the ways how to get in touch and how to present what you can do and what you want to do, what's your interest and so on. So next slide. Starting with public health. Now there will be a number of slides where we will show again the core topics that we consider relevant for you as African researchers. I think I don't want to go, again, I don't want to go for the benefit of time. I don't want to go through all these topics in detail, but just to tell you, if you click on the action ID, which is highlighted in blue and underlined, again, this is a link to the relevant website where you can get the information about the call topic. Interesting or important for you to know is the deadline for application expires on the 16th of September, usually at lunchtime, and that we'll have a budget of 50 million euro for this interesting topic, which is being divided into 10 million batches, so to speak. So we'll have up to 5 projects that will be funded. Not to forget, that in addition to this one topic under Horizon Europe, the Africa Initiative, we still have, we have our Global Health EDCTP3 joint undertaking. This is a partnership that is ongoing since 2003. So it is the oldest partnership in our cooperation activities. And it is very successful, honestly. Not only because of the large number of African countries, I think it should be around 40 countries that participate and are members of the EDCTP3 association. Sorry. But it is also remarkable that the European Union member states, or most of them at least, and the African Union member states that are the 40 ones that I referred to, provide parts of the funding to this joint undertaking, which is being stocked up by additional funding from Horizon Europe. But nevertheless, it has quite a lot of achievements. And if you go to this joint undertaking website, you will get all the information you need in terms of upcoming calls for proposals, for example, which is very likely to happen again in December this year. So usually for EDCTP3, all the calls for proposals are launched at the end of the year. Can we go to the next slide? Good. We start on the green transition priority. We start with climate change and sustainable energy. Again, I'm not going into all of the details here, but you'll see some specific topics like the building a long-term African Union, European Union research and innovation joint collaboration on sustainable renewable energies. And this is something that is dedicated to the African continent. A call topic. The next one as well, implementing the climate action pillar of the African Union, European Union Partnership on Climate Change and Sustainable Energies. These are called coordination and support actions. So these are actions that are dedicated to, for example, develop joint research agendas, to coordinate research partners into maybe better collaboration, to organize joint events, and really to bring the research communities on both sides probably closer. So that's the main aspect of these coordination and support actions. And then we have another topic on coastal communities in the Atlantic that is also widely applicable. Well, that is applicable, not widely, but that is applicable to particular African countries, namely the ones that are mentioned here on the slide. Next slide, please. Then we have the topic of food and nutrition security and sustainable agriculture. Again, quite a number of these topics focus particularly on Africa. It's not necessarily always mentioned in the call text, but for example, the second topic here, nutrition in emergency situations, ready-to-use supplementary food and so on, that is a topic that that is on the agenda already for a long time, and I'm very happy to see it now implemented under the Work Program 25. Very relevant for some countries. I'm just thinking about your neighborhood countries. One of them is Somalia. For them, it would be really important to have it there and to participate in this topic. We have, of course, innovative phytosanitary measures of plant health, also important for food and agriculture. And a number of other topics that I see here are dedicated for Africa. And please be aware of the different, not on this slide, no, there are different deadlines for application for these topics. So please be aware of these different deadlines. And if you consider applying, make sure that it is understood that you should not apply in the last minute. This is a frequent issue that comes up, and people are, in particular, when they have insecure or unstable internet connections, they struggle to send in proposals at the last minute. Do this or plan to do this at least 1 week in advance. That would be the best. You can still be a bit late, but 1 week in advance for me would be the last moment when I would plan to send in my proposal. Next slide, please. And continuing in food and nutrition security, we have here 2 activities that are addressed at ongoing research projects, and they receive a top up to the current, how can I say, budget of these ongoing projects, which are Water for All and this Biodiversity Partnership project that is also ongoing. They receive a large amount of Horizon Europe funding for topping up the selected, or no, not the selected, but these projects by quite some budget, additional budget. So if you're already working in those projects, maybe interesting for you to know and to get in touch with your partners to see how you can contribute, continue to contribute. Next slide, please. We have some Jesus Christ. No, we still focus on green transition, sorry. So we have one topic on migration and climate change. That is also very important, at least as I remember from my time in Nigeria and Somalia. Climate change is really causing a lot of additional migration pressure. And it's causing either within the country or across borders, it's causing a lot of unrest and issues that maybe can be avoided by looking into the subject and try to see what can be done before conflicts break out. So that is something that might also be important or interesting for African researchers. Next slide.
Okay, since we are sharing this, if you can just go through.
I can. Yeah. Okay. We can rush through the last ones. Yeah. Go to the next slide. Yes. So here you'll have another research topic. Next slide. Innovation and technology. That is important for also for the value chains, creating the value chains and supporting value chains. And here we focus in particular on either on raw materials or on the end-of-life products and what to do with these products to come to a circular economy, if in the best case. There's also one topic on generative AI for Africa. As you can see, the last one here on this slide, with, again, a different deadline for application. Next slide. Yes, next slide. I think that should be more or less the end of the topics that we selected for EU-Africa cooperation. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. So just to repeat what I probably mentioned before, the public health partnership, these are successful examples of partnerships that are running already for some time, and the EDCTP is one of them. You see 30 EU countries, joint investment of 1.7 billion euros under the current iteration of EDCTP, which is the Global Health EDCTP 3 joint undertaking. Then we have the green transition, where we have 2 partnerships on the food and nutrition security and sustainable agriculture, and on climate change and sustainable energy. Next slide. Of course, we are also counting on synergies within the European Union or with the European Union projects that are not focused on research and innovation in the first place. One of them is, of course, our NDICI program, the Neighborhood Development and International Cooperation Instrument, and what is being rolled out under the Global Gateway, for example. We have the African Research Initiative for Scientific Excellence, the EURAXESS, which is currently considered to receive an additional, or how can I say, a successor, the EURAXESS 2.0. We'll see about that. We have the ACP Innovation Fund, and we have, of course, Erasmus+. And then we have from our colleagues in the DG International Partnerships, we have the DZERA projects and the DZERA Plus program, and of course, African Union research grants. And finally, well, EDCTP is a good example of synergies of funds, because here we synergize with African Union, European Union member state contributions, and Horizon Europe. Next slide. Yes, we'll talk about Marie Sklodowska-Curie in a moment, so we can skip that one. Upcoming events, not so much for researchers, but more for the authorities across both continents. We'll have a senior officials meeting at the end of October this year in Brussels on the 24th, which will be preceded by the EU Innovation Fair on 23rd October 25 in Brussels as well, and the second Mediterranean Innovation Marketplace on the same day. And then finally on the 22nd October, a senior officials meeting of the Union for the Mediterranean. So we all have this as a package planned, and we will have it implemented at the end of October. So should you be interested to receive further information, you can always contact us or our colleagues at the delegation, and they can relay the questions to us if needed. Next slide. Again, a number of links here that you can click, and you'll receive more information than you ever needed, I guess. That is important for you to have an eye on these elements as well. And then with the last slide, I thank you very much for your attention. I apologize for exceeding the time limit, and hope you will have taken away some interesting points from this presentation. Thank you very much.
The question I keep on seeing, if we could, I don't know whether, Ahmed, you have all the emails, if you can email it.
Yes, of course. We will share all slides and we'll email everything.
Thank you.
Yes, we will do that.
On our side of the EU delegation, we will also obviously highlight all these different calls for proposals on social media and on our website. And we also have different channels directly to universities and to research institutions. So we will use that opportunity. And then we have a meeting also with the member states towards the end of this week. So I will highlight that. And then also through the member states, we will disseminate. So we'll try to do our best to make it as widely known as possible.
The problem I have with Erasmus is that by the time they make the applications, it is not spelled out exactly when to apply, whether you get the admission first before you apply, or you apply and then it's not very clear. So when we tell them to apply, then they either find they're late or it doesn't match.
Okay. Maybe I can propose that we'll, in follow-up of this webinar, we can provide the information in writing. So to clarify this issue, I think that's the best way forward. What do you think?
That's good.
Okay.
And I hope you will send me, because they registered, you send me the email, then I make sure that everybody gets it.
Very good.
So,
Okay.
Okay.
Should I start my presentation related to EURAXESS Africa? Or
I think we are now at the point where our colleague Dora Gifra is supposed to speak about Marie Sklodowska-Curie, right?
Yes.
Dora, there
Yes,
you
hello
are. Very good to see
everyone.
you. Good morning.
Good to see you as well. I don't know whether I should. I will try to share my screen, and
Please.
I hope. It doesn't allow me. Okay, just 1 second. For whatever reason, I cannot select the PowerPoint. So either I share my entire screen, but then I'm afraid that the notifications I receive would be a bit annoying. I was wondering, Ahmed, could you share my presentation?
Yes, I will do. Don't worry. And now, what do you think?
Looks good.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
Whew, okay, this is always the most stressful part. So now we are done with this. We can concentrate on the more important elements. So indeed, hello everyone, and thank you very much for this opportunity. We always value these occasions when we have the chance to introduce you to the Marie Sklodowska-Curie actions. As I said, it would be only a short introduction because we would need much more time, but at least you will have an idea about the program, and if you are interested, you will have the chance also to join other sessions. We will also mention this later. So I will give you a short, a brief overview of the program with the focus and opportunities that it offers for Kenya, and to provide and to begin and to provide some context before we dive into the details. Let's start with the program's structures, and I will ask Ahmed to move the slides for me. I'm pretty sure you have seen this already. So this is the structure of Horizon Europe, and more concretely, and you can see the little arrow on the slide, MSCA falls under Pillar 1 of Horizon Europe, which aims to promote excellent science. The program has a budget of 6.6 billion euros for the period between 2021 and 27. Next, please. So what are the key features of the program? If we have to summarize the main goals of MSCA, these are basically to equip researchers with new knowledge and skills through mobility and training. So these are really at the core of the program. So MSCA supports, first of all, excellent research across all domains. Mobility, as I mentioned, is a core element, but we don't only have to think about international mobility. So this mobility can be also cross-sectoral or even interdisciplinary. The program also aims to offer attractive working conditions for researchers, and through these activities, we are also helping to structure participating organizations by encouraging the development of strong and high-quality research programs. And a key point I also wanted to highlight that we really focused on building strong links with industry and especially with SMEs. And one more thing that is important to highlight, that MSCA is a fully bottom-up program. What does it mean? It means that proposals can come from any research area. So they are grouped in 8 scientific panels, but the scope is wide open. Next, please. Let me just share a few figures we are really proud of. So since 2014, the MSCA has supported more than 65,000 researchers, including 20 Nobel laureates. It's also helped expand participation. So the number of researchers from outside the EU has grown by 37%, and the number of female researchers has increased by 42%. On the top of that, the program has supported over 1,000 doctoral programs and included more than 4,500 companies around the world. Next, please. The MSCA has 5 main actions. So these are the doctoral network, the postdoctoral fellowship, staff exchanges, co-fund, and MSCA and citizens. So out of these 5 main actions, the first 4 could be relevant in your case, coming from a third country. Now let's take a quick look at the main eligibility conditions. Next, please. So first of all, in general terms, who can actually take part in MSCA actions? Well, participants can either be organizations or they can be individuals. When we talk about organizations, we mean that any type of legal entity, whether from the academic world or the non-academic sector, can apply. As for individuals, it's important to highlight that researchers of any nationality can participate. Of course, there may be some specific conditions depending on the actions. Next, please. Yes, you might also be familiar with this, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, but probably you know that we have three types of participating countries in Horizon Europe. So we have the EU member state, we have the Horizon Europe associated countries. So these are third countries that has signed an association agreement, which basically gives the same status as EU member states in terms of participation. And we also have other third countries. So Kenya obviously falls into this third category. What is important to mention here, that just like in the previous program under Horizon 2020, most African organizations and researchers, including those from Kenya, are automatically eligible for funding when they take part in MSCA projects. Next, please. So some other elements I wanted to highlight. So MSCA has a truly global scope. It strengthens cooperation between European and African organizations, and of course helps advance knowledge for mutual benefit. It's actually the most international part of Horizon Europe, accounting for more than half of all third country participation in the entire framework program. The program is open to institutions and researchers from Africa, both at PhD and the postdoctoral levels. And organizations from third countries can either host researchers or they can send them abroad. They can also take part in staff exchanges, meaning that it's not necessarily researchers who are participating, but in certain cases, when staff members are engaged in research and innovation activities, they could be also eligible. And in general, participating organization can join large international networks by setting up their own doctoral and postdoctoral programs. Next, please. So now let's take a closer look at African countries and Kenya's participation in MSCA. First, it is important to say that while there is really a huge potential across Africa, the actual participation, both from the continent in general and Kenya in particular, remains relatively low. I don't want to, you can see on the slide, I don't want to speak too much about the African one, so maybe let's concentrate on Kenya. So looking specifically at your country, Kenya has been involved in 11 projects with 17 total participations, and all these were coming from 9 distinct organizations. And in terms of researchers, 34 Kenyan researchers have taken part. Most of them went to European countries like Slovenia, Italy, and Greece. And the majority are postdoctoral researchers, about 47%. They were followed by doctoral candidates, 44%, and the rest are technical staff that are involved in research and innovation activities. Next, please. So the main reason for low MSCA participation in Africa is, and what we see is basically the lack of information. In most countries, the awareness is limited, and only few countries have strong engagement in the region. But the good news is that we have a very good support system to help you to be involved in these projects. So how can we increase the visibility and how can we support you? So first of all, we encourage African countries, not only African countries, but all third countries, to appoint a national contact point specifically for MSCA, because they could offer direct support to applicants and they can also help raise awareness. To strengthen the role of the NCPs, because of course they also have to be trained to be able to help you and potential applicants. The MSCA Radiance project is something that I wanted to mention. This is the predecessor of this project was the MSCA Net project. And basically, they provide training and mentoring and networking for NCPs in third countries. So this can be something very useful once you have appointed a NCP. We also have to mention the Marie Curie Alumni Association. This is a global network of former MSCA fellows. The African chapter of MCA supports local networking. They share success stories and promote MSCA opportunities. So indeed, this could be a very useful tool. We also recommend to build on already existing Erasmus Plus structures to form research partnerships and basically leverage existing mobility channels and NCPs and use their connection channels to disseminate information on MSCA. Finally, I also want to mention that we offer regular trainings, info sessions. For example, this week there will be 2 MSCA info sessions hosted by EURAXESS. I'm sure Ahmed will mention this later. These are specifically for potential African applicants, participants. So I really encourage you that if you want to know more about the program, because of course here we have a very short time, and we don't have much time to go into details to see all the actions. So indeed, this could be also very useful to gain additional information on the program and on how to apply useful tips and tricks. You will see this week if you join one of these sessions. Next, please. So finally, just to have a look, I would like to share the 2025 MSCA call calendar. For each action, we have one call per year. As you can see, 3 calls are currently open. So if you're interested in doctoral network, postdoctoral fellowship, or the staff exchanges action, what we usually say is staff exchanges is a good start. It's easier to access, and the conditions are easier to follow for beginners, let's say. So if you are interested in these, there is still time to apply or join an already existing consortium before the deadlines this autumn. Next, please. Yes, in fact, I will stop here. But before I finish, I just want to highlight that we now have a new LinkedIn account where we regularly share updates and important information about the program and upcoming call. I really encourage you to follow us there, and also to subscribe. We have a newsletter, to subscribe to a newsletter, so you don't miss any news or opportunities. So that's all on my side. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dora. That was quite interesting. I hope we have some good interest, raised some good interest of our participants here in this meeting, and I hope I can speak on the behalf of two or all of us that for any questions, of course, we are available either through the direct email addresses, links, and so on. So you can always raise the questions with us. I think and I have to apologize, sorry for that. In the agenda, it was foreseen that we should have a questions and answers session after my presentation, but we'll add this to the end of the event. If that is okay with all of us, then I would suggest we'll continue. And this time it is Ahmed who is, I think, in the line of speakers.
Yes, yes.
So
I hope that you
over to
can,
you.
yeah, I hope that you can see my screen now.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay, thanks a lot. So time to present EURAXESS Africa Hub, and first of all, I want to say that actually in Africa we are both. Me, I'm based in Tunisia, and I'm associate professor at University of Sousse, but regional representative for EURAXESS Africa since the launch of this hub in 2022. And my colleague Idilfana from Addis Ababa University is based in Ethiopia, and both we cover the whole continent. And I want to say that as EURAXESS Africa, we provide free access to information about research in Europe, and we communicate about opportunities for research funding, including European Research Council grants, MSCA, Horizon Europe, and we try to organize practical workshops to give tips and to give a lot of assistance to innovators and researchers based on Africa, and of course to communicate about the offer of mobility. And we try to enhance the international collaboration and transnational mobility opportunities. The network is open to all nationalities, research fields, and at all levels for free. I want to mention that it's for free. And when you see the EURAXESS platform, it's European Commission platform, of course, and when you click on the network, you will see EURAXESS worldwide. Please go to EURAXESS worldwide. You will see the 9 hubs in the world. And as we are based on Africa, we should connect with EURAXESS Africa, of course. When you connect with EURAXESS Africa, you'll be able to see all events, all news, all opportunities related to African researchers and innovators. There is some photos related to our activities in the continent, in Morocco, in Nigeria, in Cameroon, Yaoundé. This is in Cairo, this one in Dakar in Senegal, this one in Nigeria, and this one in Kenya at University of Nairobi in 2023. And we will hope that we will organize soon a big event in collaboration with universities based on Kenya. So, and since the launch of EURAXESS Africa Hub, we made more than 850 article news produced since the launch. We try to build strategic partnerships and synergies with the African Union, with the EU delegations in many countries in Africa, with the African Academy of Sciences, with Association of African Universities, with UNIMED, with the Union for the Mediterranean, and we try to participate in the flagship event like GITEX Africa organized in Morocco. The Afri-Business Incubator Summit will be organized in Tunisia, and the Pan-African University last year, it's the year of education with the collaboration with African Union. So we try to organize webinars, online events to promote MSCA actions, to promote ERC grants, but not only that, we try to promote Horizon Europe and Africa Initiative 3, and like today session organized by European Commission in collaboration with EURAXESS Africa. And Jens already presented these figures related to the participation in Horizon Europe, and you can see the difference between 1 year, it's March 24, and May 25, you'll see the increase, number of not only the eligible proposal, but plus it's retained proposal, and it's reflect the quality of many proposals involve many African organizations as a partner. So when you see EURAXESS Africa and you click in jobs and opportunities, you will be connected with a lot of opportunities, more than 10,000 opportunities related to mobility, related to positions available across Europe. You will be able to use the positions as you are bachelor positions, master positions, PhD positions, postdoc, senior researchers. You can select that, you can select the country, you can select the research profile, and you can use filters to see the opportunities. And for example, this job offer, you can see the description, the offer description. You can see where to apply, requirements, the additional information, the location, and the contact. And please create your account for free and try to update your profile. Add all information about you, about your skills, about your research activities, and you will be able to connect and to get the opportunity. As already said, we will organize this week 2 webinars related to MSCA actions in Africa. It's MSCA Africa webinars. We have 2 sessions. The first session, it will be in 2 July. It's English session, and the French session, it will be in the 3rd of July. We'll try to present all details about all core topics under MSCA actions, and we will assist you. We will try to see the proposal, the template, the part bit, and you will see how to be able to write a good proposal under all core topics related to MSCA. So, as EURAXESS, when we are connected, you are connected with us, you will be able to receive the flash notes. Each week we try to make a flash note. We try to make a newsletter, of course. We involve a lot of information about collaboration between Africa, between Europe, about news, about events, about useful documents, and you can see, we can be able to collect them, and of course, feel free to use it. So join us, be informed, be proactive, And when you click on this button, you will be able to connect with EURAXESS Africa officially. Okay, so this is our email. My email is ahmed.malal@euraxess.net, but the email of EURAXESS Africa is africa@euraxess.net. This is our email. We'll try to respond if you receive a request from you about the participation in Horizon Europe. We try to connect you with the European Commission, with DG EAC, with the GRTD, and we try to assist you in order to be able to be involved in Horizon Europe program. So, Jens, if you can allow me, I will try to take a small live demonstration on the platform. I will show how to find the, all call topics related to Africa Initiative 3.
Please go ahead.
Okay. I will stop sharing my screen. I will try to share again my screen, and we'll start with Google. Okay, now I'm in Google, and as you see, the first it's funding and tenders portal. This is the official portal of European Union. When we click, and you will see this is the portal. When we click on it, okay, now we are connected with the platform. And of course, we can click on funding. After that, the calls for proposals, like that. Okay. And we should use the filters. The first filter is the period. We should select the period. It's from 21 to 27. It's related to Horizon Europe, okay? And after that, we have the submission status. No need to click on close it, because actually we are interested to call topics forthcoming or open for submission, okay? Okay, now we have only forthcoming and open for submission. Now we click to all filters, like that. We have on the right side, we have many filters. No need to click on them, just we try to see the cross-cutting priority. This is the program, okay. We need to select the program, sorry for that. I forget to select Horizon Europe, okay. It's the periods and Horizon Europe and the submission, no need to click on close it, okay. Now we have, I think, many options. We have the mission, destination, and we have the cross-cutting priority. Please click on cross-cutting priority, and you will see now with us, this is Africa, okay? And you have 24 call topics under Africa Initiative 3. When you click on Africa, when we click on view results, you will be able to connect with the 24 call topics under Horizon Europe, under Africa Initiative 3, already presented by Jens. Okay, so let's try to, for example, to click on Gen AI for Africa. Okay, we'll try to click on one. Okay, we have many details related to this call topic. First of all, you should save the ID, the call topic ID. Why? Because when you communicate with the partner from Europe, from anywhere in the world, and you try to participate as a partner, you should share this topic, call topic ID, okay? And after that, you will see the general information. It's Horizon Research and Innovation Actions. It's the type of actions. The deadline, the opening date is 10 of June, and the deadline is 2 October 2025. After that, we have the description of this call. We have the topic description, we have the expected outcome, and we have the scope. Okay, you should see carefully read the whole description of this topic, and you will see many useful documents like the admissibility conditions, some general conditions related to this core topic. You should read the Annex A, the Annex E, and for the budget overview for this core topic, well, I already said that we should have the topic ID. It's human laureate, and let's see this topic ID, and we will see together. Yes, I'm searching yes, this one. It's this one. It's the core topic, and the budget it's 5 million euro, and you will see the 2. It's the indicative number of grants. Means that 2 projects will be funded under this core topic. So the budget it will be from 2 million. It's average to 2 million euro per project. Okay, so we have this grid tool. It's a partner search announcements. So you see the number, it's 64 partners. And when you click on view edit, you will see that actually there is 3 organizations, they put the expertise requests, and 61 organizations, they put expertise offers. Means that for expertise requests, means that the organization tried to lead the coordination of this project and looks for some expertises. So feel free to use this partner tool. It's a useful tool, and you will see that all organizations already there in this page, they look to participate in this topic. They express the interest to be part in this core topic. And of course, when you are connected, sign in, like I can put the sign in, you will be able to add, of course, the expertise offer or the expertise request in this. So feel free to use this list, and you can make a short list. And of course, for each organizations, you can click on none, and you see that the profile, organizational profile, for example, for each one, you see the organization profile from Green Deal Foundation, and you will have the PIC number, etc. So we have a lot of informations, and I advise you to use this tool in order to be able to connect with a lot of partners anywhere in the world. European partner, they look to participate in this core topic. So I will try to stop here, and of course we are open for all questions after this. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. That was very hands-on. I hope everyone could follow those so quickly, because it's a lot of information, but it's, I think, also very valuable information. Also referring to the chat, where I saw that people were indeed asking how to connect to other organizations, how to kind of promote my own research, if you want, and that is definitely a very important part of the researchers that are today connected to this webinar. So thank you very much. I hope that everyone could follow, really. I would like to hand over to the EU delegation again with a question. I'm not sure whether Kizito, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, very good. So just to clarify, if there's someone from that could speak for Erasmus, or shall we go to the next point?
The person in charge of Erasmus has just stepped out. Maybe just go to the next one.
Shall we go to the next point?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll come then to the ambassador, back to the ambassador, because we are now, I think Yes, we're going back to the ambassador and to the session on Kenyan scientists talk. Ambassador.
Yeah, but we have run out. I wish we had said 4 hours. Eh?
Yeah, I know we are a bit late. Sorry for that.
Yes.
But we still have a couple of minutes. Huh? We still have 30 minutes left
Okay.
in our agenda.
We'll try. I think there was there was Dr. Anne.
Yes, exactly.
Can spend 2 minutes, and then we would ask a couple of institutions to speak.
Yes, exactly. So can we? Is Anne still there?
Yes, I'm here. 2 minutes. It will be possible.
Very good. Very good.
I'll just rush through. I'll just rush through my slides because then they can be shared by Ahmed with the team.
Very good.
Yeah. Yes. So you can see my slides. I'll be very quick. Yes, quickly. I will just speak about 2 projects that African Center for Technology Studies is participating in the Horizon projects. For those who don't know, ACTS is a leading intergovernmental STI policy think tank, which is mandated to strengthen the capacities and policies of African countries and institutions on STI matters. Going straight to the projects, we have 2 projects we're implementing. One is called Ruralities Project, focusing on climate smart, ecosystem enhancing and knowledge-based expertise and training centers. It is a big project, but basically it's focusing on strengthening rural development linkages for enhanced and rural innovation. As an organization, we are implementing on 2 work packages. One is looking at identifying rural expertise centers, and the other one is looking at actually setting them up, but using what we are calling a multidisciplinary learning framework. And if you're interested, we can share much more on that. Then in terms of benefits this particular project is bringing to us as a Kenyan institution working with the EU partners in other African countries, much more in terms of what we perceive to be promotion of community-led empowerment and support for innovation and revitalization. And this is basically focusing on projects that are facing challenges and trying to, lift them up and ensure that they are not left behind in pursuit of rural transformation, because that is the focus of the project. And then the other thing that I feel like it's the broader overarching benefit for most of the projects in Kenya is the rural engagement and updates towards what I perceive to be a deepening of dialogue and cooperation. But this particular project, the focus is much more on rural development, which is an area which has been kind of, sidelined. In terms of lessons that we are drawing from this particular project, the role on the focus on community-led innovation, we think that is key because of the room it provides for bottom-up approach to ensuring that there are solutions that are practical and sustainable. And I still feel that, this particular
mention something on
collaboration, EU, Africa collaboration, we see what is coming out of this particular project is grounding, the locally grounding of what we can call local knowledge, but also having the global focus. I feel that is quite a good approach. And of course, it's enhancing, local capabilities. And then the system thinking approach for these projects, bringing all the stakeholders and actors together, I perceive that to be quite a unique approach for this particular project, and it should be encouraged. Then I go to the next project quickly. It's focusing on what is being called Africa-Europe Innovation Platform. Very, very new project started this January. But basically looking at a coordination and support action within the research and innovation value chain, 15 members, but we do have 2 Kenyan stakeholders, ACTS, our organization, and the Youth Cafe. And this particular program is targeting what we are calling, global challenges, because it has 4 areas which have already been highlighted on. Basically, research and innovation being a cross-cutting theme. So we are seeing all these many challenges which are bringing all the stakeholders on this particular platform, and we are developing that platform now, which will be providing opportunities for the different stakeholders within these different thematic areas coming together, to engage in specific activities and build networks within Africa and Europe, the 2 continents. We do have specific lessons we can draw from this particular platform. It is providing an opportunity to actually identify multiple pathways within which research and innovation stakeholders can actually get involved in activities that are grounded in the African context, but also looking outwards, what we perceive to be the global, bringing the global learning into those activities. The core running aspect of this platform, of course, we are going to be launching that platform very soon, and focusing much more on how we can influence the African research agenda and bringing the African perspective into the research and innovation threads is one of the key lessons that this particular platform is already bringing in, because we have conducted the needs assessment on research and innovation ecosystem, and we are just about to actually launch a concept for the platform to engage the different stakeholders in this particular space, the research and innovation ecosystem, and basically to make sure that the experiences of the African research and innovation stakeholders are embedded in the activities and the implementation of activities that are going to be launched across the continent. So I'm going to stop here. I have rushed through what is going on, but you can actually follow through what is going on within ACTS, the project which is being implemented by ACTS, and then that other platform, the platform that is being coordinated through Technopolis. And you can find out what is there for all the stakeholders who have joined today. And I'm going to stop here. You will have the slides shared with you, and you can understand much more what we've been doing. Back to you.
Send them to Ahmed. He can send to the group. I want to ask Professor Osir from Imperial College to say 2 minutes before I move to Kenya Innovation Agency. Is Professor there? Are they able to access from the other link? Oh, she's struggling to get in. Let me send.
You can also put the email address to whom maybe Ahmed could send the link again. You can put this in the chat, Ambassador.
Yes. I can put it. I can put her email.
Is it Face Ozier?
Imperial College.
Imperial College, yes, yeah.
Yeah. You found it?
It is in the chat.
Yes.
Face Ozier from the Imperial College in the UK.
Okay, I'll do it now.
Copy. Put it in the chat. I put it in the chat.
Okay.
No, that's a different one. No, sorry.
Done.
Oh,
done.
you
I
have
have
done.
some presentation already.
Okay. Give her 1 minute and see whether she can.
Okay. I see 2 emails, so the first one or the second one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have put something.
The second one.
Are you?
But it's
I use the both. Okay.
yeah, okay.
In case
Is
of.
the Kenya Innovation Agency there? Dr. Tony. Holy cow. 1 second. Is she coming through? Sorry about this. We didn't know.
No, it's okay.
Is she there?
Let's wait.
I hear something.
Okay, she's coming through.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll send you another one. Oh, it takes a time. Huh? Okay. You are muted.
Yeah,
I
she
can
is.
join. I can join now. Thank you.
Good
I was
morning.
on another link. Yeah, good morning. So I want to just take my 2 minutes to thank you for everything that you've said. I'm a Kenyan scientist. I am based at Imperial College in London, but I have research teams at Strathmore University in Kenya, Emory, at Pwani University in Kenya. And from these locations, we've been applying for some EU grants. We've got mobility that was on the horizon 2020. We've put in a new one from Pwani University through for African IP, and this is really about equipping African scientists to own intellectual property for innovations. And we're waiting for the outcome of that funding. We're also having co-funding through the UK for what is called the Chanjo Hub. And this is to support manufacturing in Africa. And, you know, this is on your track for public health and for translation. What we're actually trying to do is support manufacturing locally in Africa. So we are working to produce an experimental malaria vaccine in Africa using mRNA technology. But in fact, it is a gateway to have the capability so that we can respond to any other pandemic pathogen by just having the infrastructure there. So this is an area where we would be really happy to find more partners in the EU because we have requirements for infrastructure, we have requirements for equipment. However, the project is progressing well. We're doing some of the work in the UK, but we're transferring the whole manufacturing progress to make drug substance and drug product actually on the continent in Kenya. And so the discussions on translation and IP, these are really very strongly aligned with the session that I've heard on today. And so we'll be looking at those opportunities to move that translation actually into reality, create jobs, but also solve some of the challenges that the continent is facing. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and I really look forward to further conversations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was quite interesting. A very recent topic on mRNA funding, or sorry, research. That is definitely something that is probably the future in many regards. So let's see. I wish you good luck with the plans you're having, of course. Back to the ambassador. I'm not quite sure whether he's still online.
Kenya Innovation Agency. Innovation Agency. I have put the link there. I put the email there. If Ahmed, you can send Kenya Innovation Agency.
Okay, got it.
Then
let's wait for a moment before.
Done for the invitation.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Tony is here
Looks
already.
like.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, he's joined.
I don't see him in the panel.
In the meantime, I would ask Stratmore, the Dean Stratmore, if he can come. Are you there? We have a serious problem with these things.
I think she needs to receive the same link that you shared with the colleague from Strathmore.
It was Ahmed who sent. Ahmed who gives the permission.
Yeah, done already done.
You've done to Stratmore, you have done to Tony.
Yes.
Kenya Innovation Agency. I sent this thing a long time ago. Here, sent. I sent IV here. This is
So there is a Tony connected, but we can't see him. So I don't know what's happening.
Okay, it's the name is
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Cesar
Yeah.
Mwangi here from Strathmore.
yes.
Ambassador, can you hear me?
Tony Omvanza from the Kenyan Innovation Agency.
Hello.
Can
hello,
Strathmore, Caesar,
Yes.
yes. Oh, Caesar Mwangi is there.
Yeah.
Are you able to go to Caesar while Tony is coming?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Ahmed, I can see you.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to, yes, I'm very pleased to be on this call and really very eye-opening opportunities. We at Strathmore Business School have been very, very keen to get on some of the research programs of the European Union, and I think we already have some, especially in the area of healthcare. On the business school side, we have designed a program which we are very keen on applying for funding. And this program is looking at, first of all, focus on sustainability and the idea of a transition to a greener economy. And in this regard, we are looking at the whole idea of scaling up sustainable industries, which will be the main theme of our program. We are aware that in Europe, less than 3% of startups scale up, and in the US, it is approximately 7%. We have therefore decided to focus on
Daktari, go to the meet. That's how we can use it.
Yes, okay, Ambassador. Yeah, we've got we've partnered with an organization in the Netherlands called Scale Up Nations, which has conducted a very good study to identify the factors that make a company scale up or stall. And based on this analysis, they've managed to develop an assessment of the potential of companies to scale up. We are therefore looking at identifying technologies in Europe which can be used here in Africa. And in this regard, we have technologies such as biofermentation, the use of bamboo as a raw material, and other technologies which we can use as potential for industries here in Africa that can be used to scale up. One of the very interesting one is the development of protein, which can be used to develop animal feeds, for example. And we are looking at getting funding for certain organizations here in Kenya, which are already in this area of, for example, animal feed production, and to see if we can use biofermentation to help them to scale up and to use the new technologies. I know you don't have much time. I've got quite a bit of information, Ambassador, but we are very keen that we put in this proposal in this next round before October.
Kenya Innovation Agency to come through. Can you see Kenya Innovation Agency there? Ahmed?
No, I think no. I'm trying to verify.
Is Tony, Agent Tony? Okay.
Tony? It's Tony? Okay.
But there's a message in the chat that says that Tony was not contacted. I think it's from Anita
Kenya.
Tagal.
No, it's Kenya, but I am not certain if there was a special Kenya, yes, is the one up. Okay, we can move to the fashion industry. I think can you get the one, the severe institutional address? Mosore.
If you are here, can you raise your hands? I will try to give you to allow you to open your mic. This is the only way because
Okay, the Kenya Innovation Agency has come through. Dr. Tony, you can see him.
Finally, I've managed to join where I can speak. The other one, the audio button was disabled.
okay.
Okay,
Nice. Okay.
proceed. Next is the fashion industry. Tony, proceed.
So that I get a bit of the context, Tony Omwansa is my name, and I head the Kenya National Innovation Agency. Our mandate, as you could imagine, revolves around developing and strengthening the national system of innovation. We work very closely with universities, research centers, and TVETs, and kind of general public in terms of scouting and nurturing, research-based ideas, and supporting the commercialization processes, strengthening institutional capacity for commercialization, tech transfer. We do a lot of capacity building. We try to expose people to on mechanisms and avenues of generating resources that they need to develop their ideas to commercial value. So with that context, of course, we then have to deal with policy issues, infrastructural issues, leadership issues.
Tony, we were giving 2 minutes to say some of the right projects.
Yeah, I came a bit late, so I wasn't very sure exactly what the question is, but we do have a huge pool of projects that we have supported in their formative stages, in agriculture, in healthcare, in energy, in recycling. We've got a database of projects that we have supported at early stage of research and moving them into commercial value. So more than happy to provide a pool because, for us, we are aggregators and we work with all these institutions. And the list is pretty long.
Thank you, Tony. That might actually be quite interesting. I'm happy to continue the talk maybe after the webinar. If you can send me some information about your organization.
Yes.
I think you are well known here in DGRTD, but still for myself, it would be good to better understand and also maybe highlight some of the projects you just pointed to see whether and how we can take it forward. Yeah, can we do it like that?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Okay, good.
Let's move to the fashion side. Whoever is on the other room can send your email to Ahmed to put you through. I think I saw was it Misore or something? Mosore?
There's a Caesar still on the line.
Caesar,
Yes,
Caesar is okay. He spoke, unless you want him to speak again.
Yeah, I'm on the line, but I understood that it was just 1 or 2 minutes, so it's okay.
1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. There were a number of institutions who are here. If you can request, yes. I made email. anybody from Passion, they had requested to speak. Anybody to send the email to Ahmed. Rosemary, can you ask the one who was supposed to speak to speak? If not, we go to Lisbeth, I think. Well, Masai Mara University, can you shift? Can you send it to Masai Mara University? Ahmed, you have it.
Okay, I'll try to. Can you
Yes.
raise your hand, please?
Who is the one? Raise their hand. Amehe?
Mayan Kames from Masai Mara University.
Just one person will speak for 1 minute. We have
Maybe Ambassador, if you allow me.
there is Akinyi there, if she can go through. Akinyi, you have said I agree to speak. And then we have another Akinyi and Masai Mara, if any one of those can go through.
Okay.
I think Mayan from Masai Mara is connected, so I think it would be good if you take the floor.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I've been following through. My name is Marjan Hamis from Masai Mara University, from the Office of the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Innovation, and Outreach. So very intriguing sessions we've been having, and I thank you, the organizers, and everyone who has been able to present us with their presentations. They're very insightful, and we'll be looking forward to engaging in those platforms that we've been shown, and looking for more collaborations with everyone else. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we should, Ambassador, if you allow, we should maybe also give some time to the audience. There was a hand raised, I think, so that they can pose their questions. Unless, Ahmed, you have any?
Yeah, we can allow some live questions if you want.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, please, we can take some questions from the audience. So
yes,
let's start with Lucy, and you have Kefa, and you have Moses. Okay, and the final one. Please go ahead. Open your mic, please.
Hello. Yes, this is Dr. Moso Lengo. From Dedan Kimathi University of Technology. I'm the Director of Research Innovation Manager.
Please go ahead. Kefa.
This is Dr. Moso Lengo. Hello.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Moses. I'm Dr. Moses Lengo. I'm the Director of Research Innovation Management and Linkages at Dedan Kimathi University of Technology. First of all, I want to express my appreciation for this session. It has been quite informative and quite eye-opening in so many areas. But I have a query. We responded to Switch Africa Green. I don't know if that question could be asked here, but how we could get information on probably the output, because according to the timelines, it was, I think, the first responses were to come out on 25th of June. So if there's a platform, probably we could make a follow-up to see for those ones who responded to Switch Africa Green, that could be very useful. Otherwise, thank you so much, and we're looking forward to participating in these calls. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I have to admit that Switch Africa Green is not something that I'm very familiar with. But if you say that the deadline was the 5th of June, then it's certainly not a Horizon Europe call for proposals, because that was just opened now. So if you can provide more information about the call that you replied to, I would be more than happy to try and help you as much as I can. Can we do it like this?
That would be okay. We can. My email is here. If I knew your email, I can still email you
I
the
think
details.
the email address is on the slides that I prepared and that I showed earlier today. So if you get the slides, then you will also have my email address.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. More questions? There is a Kifa Ogonyo.
Yes. Hello. Thank you.
Good morning or good
Am I
afternoon.
audible? Yes. Sorry, it's afternoon in Nairobi. Yes, I was requesting that if we could have the opportunity for investigator-led proposals for consideration amongst the items that you fund. Reason I'm saying this is that often when we look at the list of concepts that are funded or requested for, have an alignment with specifications that more or less meet a certain interest. Or let me say they have a certain goal that may not necessarily be aligned to our goal. Let me give a quick example. I have had a proposal before, and this proposal was to address the gaps in healthcare. Now, to address the gaps in healthcare, the foundation was to have medical students trained as teams. You take pharmacy, medicine, dentistry, nursing, go out as teams, and they're supervised in rural areas for a certain duration of their curriculum. And these students, in their process of going out, would work with faculty to develop specific research proposals that address questions and health needs in the areas that they go out to. So the model is in line with the new education system that has just been adopted in Kenya, where you want the trainers to be competent in skills and to be experienced in the work areas that they will eventually be employed. Now, the model therefore will ensure that there's a spread of expertise because faculty go out to different parts of the country. Students are able to identify health needs because they are in the space of the communities where they are training. And then the other thing is that the university will find itself decongesting the utilization of central facilities that are used for rotation of students. Now, there's more information to this, but the thing that I'm mentioning is that is an example of a concept that was funded by the US. It was well funded. $11 million was given to that program. I was also in the exchange program that was funded by the Horizon 2020. I was also in that exchange program for doing the same. I was also funded by EDCTP to develop the pharmacovigilance systems. So what I'm mentioning is that there's a way sometimes investigators identify a need that's not necessarily raised within the subjects of what you have proposed. So I'm requesting for the opportunity to have that discussion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for the question. I understand that this question is addressed, it concerns almost every researcher, I think. And I appreciate that, no problem at all. The problem, the issue with it is that Horizon Europe calls for proposals are not bottom-up usually. They are predefined and preset and discussed with EU member states in most cases, or in all cases. And we have to follow those discussions. We don't have the opportunity to, under this part of Horizon Europe, to do bottom-up research where researchers can propose their own research projects and subjects. For that, it would probably be better to see whether the European Research Council would be an address where you can address your project proposals too, depending on their procedures of calls for proposals. And I have to say, I'm not necessarily a specialist in all of our instruments that we are running, but maybe it is worthwhile to look at the European Research Council in this regard. Sorry for the not so nice answer or not so helpful answer, sorry, but there's not much I can say about that.
We can finish with Kinyingi. Did the Kinyingi raise a hand or no? Then if that is the case, there are two hands I see. Is that Vala Andrew?
Yes, it's Vela Andrew.
Okay.
Vela Andrew.
Quickly, because we have to finish by exactly in exactly
Can
3
I
minutes.
talk now?
Okay.
Please
Yeah.
go
Can I
ahead.
talk? Yes.
You talk, yes.
My name is
Talk.
Vela Andrew, and I am from Imo State University, Owerri. I am currently the Director for Research and Innovation. It's the first time the office is created, and I'm finding a difficult time letting the community, the university community, understand that you can actually get these grants from bodies like this. I am very happy connecting today with Horizon Africa. And I want to say that we have innovations which are sitting on the shelf. There's a work on energy, there's one on phytochemicals, there's one on water, and there are so many on bioplastics. Please, how do I ensure that these works are brought up so that we can ask for funding to commercialize them? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for the question. I think it's a very important and interesting question, and I would really love to work to spend more time on this. However, I have to say, in the first place, well, we are already conducting or supporting relevant activities in Africa. There is a network of innovation hubs that's called the Enrich in Africa, or that was the name of the project, Enrich in Africa. If you Google it, you'll find it, no problem. And that could be, this is actually the network of innovation hubs across the continent that is also trying to see how such innovations can be supported financially and otherwise in terms of business development and administration. This is something that is a little bit out or beyond research. And this is why I mentioned that. So we try to do our best in order to bring researchers more to the innovation side with these cooperations and activities. However, it is very difficult if you consider that there are 54, 55 African countries to do it separately for every country. So the question is, what can you do from your side? And I know that in Nigeria, there is a national contact point was set up, and it might be useful to check with Abuja in how far they can help you in addressing the needs that you're having to bring those projects really to fruition. That's all I can say for now. If you have any other needs, I'm happy to respond to that.
I think we have run out of time. What I would say is that if you agree, gents, I will liaise with the people, and then maybe we can give a another 1 hour or so at some point in the coming weeks. Ahmed, if you accept, then we can completely finish and get satisfied with these programs. So I thank you for today, and I thank all of those who have attended, and I hope you look at the deadlines and be able to make some proposals. There are some which we need to explain further. We will get the time to do it. Thank you so much from everybody.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Also from my side, thank you in particular to Ahmed to have this organized so well. That was very much appreciated, and you'll find all the information on the EURAXESS link that Ahmed was shared in the chat. So please make use of the link and take the necessary effort to inform yourself, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions. Any further questions, I should say. Thank you very much, Ambassador, once again, and all the best to everyone. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.